Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ podcast. Long time no see. I'm the A, he's the J. Uh,
A
yeah, and today's topic is
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
took a while there, but yeah, today we're talking about Snyder Cut. How long? It's been like a week? No, a little longer than a week than it has since it's come out.
Yeah, because as the time of recording this, it is Saturday, 27th, and the movie came out the 18th.
Right? Yeah. So I mean, do we want to get right into it? Let's just start.
Uh, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
sure, let's go. Initial thoughts or something, yeah.
Okay. How do you? Okay. So I thought it was amazing, amazing visually. The plot development so much better than 2017 cut because first off, every single character you see, every single main character you see and side character pretty much gets their own scene to themselves that they fully get to express their character in a meaningful way, and that's I think the biggest difference from the 2017 cut. You know that you get to know their personality so much. Like Ezra, obviously I'm biased. Flash is my favorite, but the way Ezra comes out in this one, so much more personality because he's a young Flash and he's able to introduce himself so much more, not quirky, but just being himself. And I thought, that's there's so much more depth to that. And then at the end, his his very now famous scene with the Speed Force, incredible. Uh, Man, I
Yes.
loved it. I was a little bit mad at right after watching it, but just right after, because I just expected a little more dark side and granted goodness, but then I had to like take a step back and be like, no, this is his vision for how this movie was originally meant to go and how he wanted to set up so much more in the Zack Snyder
Mhm.
verse. So, in my opinion, I think I said 9 out of 10.
Yeah, you told me a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So when I first finished watching this movie, I was just like, yo, I was freaking crazy. The thing is, like, everything that happened, I mean, it wasn't a shock to me because I pretty much knew I guess pretty much everything about this movie, like, a year before it was even announced, that it was ever announced it was gonna come out. This is, like, around the time when nobody ever thought the Snyder Cut would ever come out. So I knew about the Flash time traveling stuff, the way Steppenwolf was gonna die, especially because Zach literally shared that, or he didn't
He
show us,
did.
but
I didn't know that.
he straight up, like, he said, "Yeah, I want my gods to kill gods." Obviously, so, of course, Wonder Woman slices off his head. But when I finished watching that movie, I was like, "Man, first of all, that was freaking epic, but can we, like, get a continuation, please? Like, can we get more? Because man, I imagine if we got this version of the movie back in 2017, how different the landscape of DC,
Oh,
films would have been, especially because what this sets up and compared to what we have now, we're going in a completely different direction now.
for sure. And now I'm thinking of how this would have affected Wonder Woman 1984. 19,
19
1984, was that right?
1984.
Nice, I was right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I haven't. I have technically seen a little bit of it. Not really. It was that weird situation once again. I don't know if I told you, where I watched some of it without audio, and
Oh my god.
for some reason I found one that like had captions in it, even though it's a movie. But whatever. But I mean, obviously, I stopped watching because not gonna lie, kind of lost a little bit of interest there. Not that,
Fair
yeah,
fair enough.
yeah, but
Um,
amazing job, Zach, for what his message was to the community about his
yes.
daughter and just everything around it. It just I applaud him. It's incredible.
Mm, I've noticed, like, a lot of people that were never really the biggest fans of Zack's previous, DC films, like Man of Steel and the really divisive Batman versus Superman, they ended up liking this movie a lot more than his previous ones. And I've also noticed a lot of people start to have more appreciation for Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman because you start to see how everything was being set up and how it pays off in this movie, which this is why I always loved BVS because I always saw the setup and I'm like, yo, this is crazy right here.
I'm definitely one of those people that you're talking about because I mean I never disliked the movies. I just always thought they had more potential in them, but now
Mm,
seeing Snyder Cut, you see why they're needed and the way they were made. It had a
mm,
purpose, And I'm sure if Zach had more creativity, not creativity, but range for what he wanted to do
mm,
with Warner Bros. And everything during that time, I'm sure it would have been better at like as much as if he had here in the Snyder Cut.
mm.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, this kind of felt like his magnum opus right here. Like this,
Oh yeah.
like for me, I still love the living crap out of BVS. I feel like this movie and BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League. I feel like I'm gonna kind of go back and forth between because there's just so many elements that I love about BVS, and then it's like, how do you not love Zack Snyder's Justice League? Because like it's like boom right after the other. It's like you kind of need one for the other.
Yeah.
So whenever I rewatch them, I gotta figure out which one I like more.
Yeah.
um, there's just like so many aspects that are just like, dang, I like this one for this one. I like this one for this one, and I don't like this one for this one. I don't like this one for this one.
Right.
So much.
The only main complaints I saw from other people, which I really didn't mind, I mean, is that one, it's 4 hours long, which I don't care. I enjoyed the whole 4 hours, man. But I understand people that because a lot of people they don't feel comfortable watching a movie alone. They need to watch it with family or with people, and
Hmm.
it's kind of hard to set up 4 hours from everyone's schedule to watch the movie. But
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind sitting there watching 4 hours on my own. It was great, and I know the biggest thing that other people were saying, which honestly you don't really notice unless you're specifically trying to critique the movie, which don't be negative, obviously, but there were just how much slow motion there was, which I don't care. That's awesome. I liked it.
There's 27 minutes worth of slow
Yeah,
motion
yeah.
in
It's
this
like it's
movie.
like 10% of the movie.
Yeah, that's insane. It's the most Zack Snyder you can get. Slow mo. He loves the slow motion.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, of course, we needed it for the Flash stuff. I mean, we need slow motion Flash scenes. That's just how it works. Okay.
Right. All right. So, how do you want to keep going with the details? You want to go chronologically, or do you have another thing to like say?
um, I think we just hop right into it. I don't think if you want to
Okay.
go chronologically, or if you just want to just talk about random things, your favorite moments, or you know, I, I don't know, random stuff or stuff you just found interesting.
Man, favorite moments, dude. There's too many moments. It's like, man, I love the way they introduced Flash this time. I thought it was so funny with the him trying to get a job with the
Mm,
pet shelter or whatever, and when he came back with the Winnie, he's. I mean, the thing is that like I want to know how much experience he's had at the Flash at this point, because
mm, yeah,
he had the ability to just be like, oh, this is fine. He just grabbed a Winnie from her. What was it from her hot dog? No,
yeah,
no, no.
it
There's a
was a
hot dog stand. Yes, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, man, I just love the way, and I can't wait for Iris to come back. Is Iris coming back?
yeah,
Right? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. The actress is coming back for the Flash movie, so that's awesome because she wasn't in the 2017 cut.
Mhm, mhm. I just man, I just can't get enough of Ezra. He's just so funny, especially the behind the scenes. But behind the
Yeah,
scenes, man, my stuttering. Behind the scenes with what's his name? Aquaman. It's great, great
like
stuff.
Jason Momoa. But just the behind the scenes looks like the entire cast is having the time of their lives.
Right.
Like it's just like the energy is just all there. It's just
Mhm.
like wow.
Mhm.
Like I would love to be on set with them. But that first Flash scene when he grabs Dwayne, I was like, "Yo, what is this dude doing?" He puts it in his pocket. Like, what is
I knew
going
right
on?
away. I knew right away. Oh, it's for the dog. Right away. But then when it flashed, the camera panned back to the shelter and he wasn't there. I was like, oh shoot! Now what did he do with the winner? But then it panned back down and we saw him in the pen. And we're like, okay, there it is.
What did he do with the winner? This dude.
Right.
I thought he was saving it for later. I was like, what is going on here?
I love the shoe ripple. That's probably one of my favorite moments. When
Yeah,
this the shoe ripple.
something cool you noticed. And like Zach has like stated this before. He doesn't, want Flash to like just grab them out of the air and just pull them back down. You see when he's bringing Iris down to the ground. He's doing it with like a lot of care because he was like, if you're going really fast and you like pull somebody by the arm to try to get them out of somewhere, you're gonna rip their arm off. That was his concept for it. So he was like that's why he doesn't just grab her and just place her down. He kind of carries her in a way, but like very carefully, of course,
Right. I mean,
until she
Barry technically Barry still has like the ability where I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like a flash power that everything around him too is unreal. Because if someone was running that fast, they would instantly be obliterated by the air up molecules. But that's a speed force, ability that when
Mhm.
you're using speed force, things react differently as if no motion's happening to you, even though you are running really fast. But I like Zach. I got really upset today because we just talked about how Zach, gives these details of things, and I just
Mhm.
got so upset by them calling him out for. So Wonder Woman, from doing the sculpture, she goes and finds the arrow in the little what's it called, the mascara. I was about to say
The
mascara.
Shrine of the
The
Amazons
shrine.
is what it was called.
Yeah, the shrine of the Amazons. She found the arrow there, but they were upset because she flew there. But when she yeah, when she landed, she had heels on, and people were upset with that. That one, not even Wonder Woman could land with heels. Which, first of all, I bet she could. And
It's a
I'm
Wonder
I'm,
Woman
I'm
we talking
serious. I'm serious. This was a news article. And two, uh, they were upset that her coat, her trench coat, wasn't dirty from the flight or like from the movement.
Yo,
Like
people be nitpicking like the
what?
smallest things ever,
Yeah,
bro.
it's a
Do you
movie.
really care?
First, it's a movie about superheroes. That's not a detail that you're supposed to notice. Like, it's just absurd to me. That I mean, but like there's critics everywhere on each side. No matter what you do, there's always going to be
Yeah,
people like that. But just I love it. I love the you only have haters when it's good, when it's something really big. And this
pretty
just
much.
just this just goes to show how big it is. He has his own hater fan base.
And a huge fan base too, which
Yeah, yeah.
interesting enough. Uh, one of my favorite moments. Besides the obvious like Flash scene, where he like reverses time or time travels, saves the Justice League. Obviously, besides that, I feel like that's in everybody's top three at least. One of my favorite moments. It was like very quick where they kill Steppenwolf, they cut off his head and everything comes through the boom tube. Darkseid steps on his head, just smashing that last horn off, and they're just having a little stare off at each other. I was watching that like, yo, is it about to go down right now? Or what is Darkseid gonna like shoot an Omega Beam or something? You gonna try to kill him? And then the freaking portal closes. And then usually he's all angry, and then Desaad's like, I told you he was gonna fail. I was like, yo, Desaad is that dude that like preys on people's downfalls, bro.
I mean, yeah, that's his personality.
What's your problem? People said he's the person to tell the teacher they forgot to hand out the homework.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's really good.
I like that part at the end where he's like, how will you go about, claiming your great prize? It was like, oh, the anti-life is found, we will stop at nothing to find it pretty much or achieve it, whatever the heck. It's like ready the armada, we will use the old ways. I was like, yo, dark side invasion confirmed.
Oh yeah, dude. I was I mean, I saw this meme today, and it's about King Kong versus Godzilla. But I thought the quote they used could totally be used in what's called in the next fight against Darkseid. Here, let me pull it up. But basically, it is Kong finally confronting Godzilla, right? And then they have like this standoff, like you kind of see, and when they're looking through the boom tube at Darkseid, and this is what he says. Here, let me. It's right. Or I can probably improvise it. It's not that hard to memorize. But basically, he says, "Oh yeah, I found it. Here it is. What is a king to a god? Or maybe what is it called? We could do Aquaman to Darkseid. He says, "What is a king to a god?" And then uh, the other one could say, "What is a god to a non-believer?" And then he just strikes him in the head. I thought that's obviously I'm gonna put the meme on screen on the video so people could see what I'm talking
I
about.
know that's the quote of a song. I forgot what song.
Oh yeah.
If anybody knows where it's from, I think it's a Kanye song or something. Yeah.
Dude, that was just so
Uh,
epic reading that. I'm like, oh, I could totally see like someone saying this is dark side. What is a god to a non-believer? Ooh, ooh, that's that's heavy. It's awesome. Sash would say that. He'd be like, I don't believe in God. Science. uh, what's called
um,
the first
the-
the first chapter. I did feel like it was a little bit lackluster, but that's only because I know that like it's kind of trying to be an introduction to someone that
mm,
maybe hasn't seen all the films in the past. They kind of get an idea for what the setup is,
mhm.
but it just felt kind of slow to me, in my opinion.
I get
But
that. I get.
yeah. I mean, everything happens like in the fifth chapter and afterwards. That's where the heavy stuff happens.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's like that. Yeah, that fifth or fourth chapter is when things just start moving and it doesn't stop.
Yeah,
Except
exactly.
for like, small moments like Superman stuff, which was awesome, even though it was kind of short.
hmm
Um,
I
but
like
I
that.
love.
Sorry, go ahead.
I actually really love that opening where it's pretty much Superman's death from BVS, and you see like kind of from Wonder Woman's perspective for like 2 seconds, and they reuse a shot of from BVS of Batman when he shoots the grenade, or that kryptonite grenade,
Mm.
and what they added a little like glare to his eye and kind of suggest like, yo, he's a bit sad that Superman's actually dead right now, or he's dying. And then just the shockwaves and how they wake up the mother boxes, and I actually really like how it connects to the Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman, which the second to last or like the third to last Lex Luthor scene is of him in the Kryptonian ship, and he's talking to Steppenwolf, or like for like 2 seconds till like the SWAT team arrives, and then they arrest him. But I love that they showed that right there. I was like, that's I love that. That's awesome. It works for people that seen the 3 hour cut of BVS. It's like, hey, that's Steppenwolf.
I love the design they used for Steppenwolf this time. Thank God. Thank God,
Yeah,
dude.
it's actually intimidating to look at.
Yeah. The other one was so underwhelming. But
Hmm.
you couldn't even tell that he was like he's a spawn of Shadow Darkseid. Like it's just a guy. But what's it called one thing that I really enjoyed that I thought even though it doesn't have a lot of focus into it, I feel like it has a lot of I don't know personality to the character is
Hmm.
Victor's dad dying. I thought that helped a lot. The way he died at least, and the way they did it, the way that they like led up to it. I love the
Yeah.
dynamic they had this time. Victor and his dad.
Hmm.
Like I already said this, but like it just adds so much more to the character. And now we know that like Cyborg, he's coming from this loss, and but he's also trying to use like Justice League at this new family. And that's a very Cyborg thing to happen. In the comics to like you can even see it in Teen Titans because he's a gosh robot, and he's just always trying to find a family to fit in, and I just felt very heartwarming. You know,
Yeah. And I can't believe they would seriously cut out, his father's death from the 2017 cut. Like that's such a big moment right there
yeah,
for Cyborg, seeing his father die, somebody he had hatred for, kind of like almost redeemed in a sense, it's like, yeah, I'm doing this for you because his sacrifice wasn't pointless. That's what I thought it was gonna be at first. I was like, okay, did he think he was gonna blow up the mother box? But no, he's supercharged to the point where it's like the hottest thing on the planet so they can track it. I was like, oh, that's
yeah.
something I wasn't actually expecting. I was like, okay, that's actually really smart. I like
Like
that.
I was really confused right after because he did that thing right to the mother box, and I expected it to like explode or something, do something, and he just dies, and I'm like, oh shoot, did they really just kill him off for him not doing anything? I'm like, no, there has to be some sort of payoff. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't. And then they explained that he's supercharged. I was like, okay, thank God.
And it's a better way for them to get to that city because in the 2017 one, it's just him looking through the internet pretty much to figure out where the mother box is at.
Google, where is the mother box? Yes, thank you.
Mhm. And then Aquaman's like, oh, maybe because you can't control that part of yourself. He's like, hey man, I'm not doing this on purpose. And one of them is like, hey, I'm sure if you dig deep enough, you'll find something. He's like, okay, just keep the fish man away from me. And that's pretty much where it ends. And he's like, hey guys, I found it. It's out of
Man,
nowhere.
really?
This, yeah, this was the way they did it in this one was like the way they get there it just makes more sense rather than just him surfing through the web. He's like, I think it's here.
All right, it's funny. Yeah, Aquaman again, more character. We had that scene with I always forget the actor's name. Uh, like the his servant, his the king's servant.
Willem Dafoe
Yes,
character, Volko.
Ivoko. There
Or
we
what?
go.
I mean, he was cut from the 2017 version too.
Yeah, I like it's I just like those little moments. I'm a big fan of little moments. We can't forget
Mm.
about those because it's just the big moment, big moment, big moment. But no, no, no. It's
I like
the
that where
percent.
he's like, "Take up your brother's trident," and then he just keeps looking and he just drops it. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
And actually, at first I thought the movies didn't contradict Zack Snyder's Justice League until there was a moment that I missed, I guess. Have you seen Aquaman?
Nope.
Well, this
I'm
isn't
getting
a
paid.
spoiler, I guess, but
No, yeah, go
in
ahead. I don't care. Go ahead. It's been
Zack Snyder's Justice League, Amber Heard or Mara with her British accent now, says that apparently she says something about her father being dead, but in the Aquaman movie, her father is very much alive.
oh really?
So, so in the Snyderverse, the Aquaman movie wouldn't be canon unless I don't know, crisis happened right in the middle of that or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just
Barry did a secret flashpoint.
Yeah, so I remember watching. I was like, "Oh, sweet! You could retcon 2017 cut, and we'll be okay." But then somebody brought it up. I was like, "Oh, okay, never mind."
Yeah, man, they better like make. I saw more. They were more. I think I read it today or yesterday. Things looked a lot more hopeful for them considering it canon, the Snyder cut for the future
Really?
movies, but only specific moments. So they didn't. They're not. I think they said maybe what the deal was going to be was that they're going to take the movie, the Justice League movie, consider it as canon for the future movies, but they're not going to take anything that Zack was setting up for the future. So all the nightmare scenes, no, all the all the
Uh,
pretty much all the end credit scenes. Not, they're not going to take anything of that,
the
and
entire epilogue,
yeah,
pretty much.
the entire epilogue, and then just sort of just little
Bruh,
small details that they want to recount from his movies to make it to the future. Yeah, but I don't know if that's
bruh.
worth. I don't know if that's worth it because that's again you're just taking away from his vision and
Exactly. And the big thing they're also setting up too is the nightmare stuff. I
yeah.
mean, it's been 5 years since we were promised that nightmare scene. Batman Superman came out 5 years ago, which is crazy to think about. And they promised us this nightmare hellish future in which like everything's gone to shit. Darkseid's taking over. Superman is evil. Batman's leading pretty much the insurgency from injustice. It's like I want to see that. That looks so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And then no, we're going multiverse instead. I mean, which is cool, I guess. But you know,
I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast yet, but I was so sad to see. I was sad not to see the Jesus Joker that we saw. I really wanted to see that. Like that was one of my things I was waiting for because they put a poll and they were like, which character are you most excited to see? And one of the options were Joker. So I'm thinking there has to be so much scenes with not so much, but like enough scenes with Joker where I'm like, this is incredible. And I did. I'm not saying I didn't like the end credit scene of Joker and Batman, which on in my opinion, I thought it was. I know you liked it a lot. It just Jared Leto,
I love
Joker.
it.
His
Um,
Joker is so different. But I mean, I'm
it
not
really
hating on him. I'm not hating on him. I just think the dynamic it just feels so different, so weird than what I'm used to. But I
mm.
mean, there's no issue with me. There's no issue with it as a movie. Just an issue with me with it. But
I remember. I remember first scene. Oh no, keep going.
I just really wanted to see Joker as Jesus.
No, I remember when that image first came out. I know a lot of people were getting offended, but I was like, Joker, it really isn't a PC
No, it's the
character.
symbolism. I think it's great. I'm very Christian. I just want I love that. I mean, hey man, you're making a reference. That's cool.
Yeah, and I know like Zach loves his symbolism, especially with Superman, like in Man of Steel and BVS. There's a lot of like Jesus symbolism in
Right.
the like with his character. And what's funny is that he dies, and then 3 movies later is when he comes back. Sound
Hmm.
familiar?
Yep.
Which I was like, I see what you guys were doing there. Nice one, Zach. stroke his cock. Anyways, but
Oh.
I remember when that image of Jared Leto, like, as Jesus came out, I was like, "Yo, this image goes hard as hell. I wanna see this right now." I was like,
Hmm.
I want to see this. I wanna see why he has that on." But then, it's probably just because Jared Leto has, like, a cult, which is actually, like, legit. I mean, he has an they were on an island, and people that are there with him, they call him Prophet, and then they came back not knowing COVID was a thing, so they came back, like, in the middle of the pandemic. He's like, "Yo, what the hell's going on?" That's legit. That actually happened.
Dude, so I knew that he was isolated, but I didn't know about the cult. What?
Yeah, they all call him Prophet.
Oh, dude, I had no idea. That's kind of scary. Oh God.
Yeah, and what's
Well.
funny, oh shoot, Ben Affleck's in good shape right now. Nice. But oh, that was random. But when Zach was on an interview, talking about when he had called Jared Leto, he says like he could hear a whole bunch of people talking, and then all you hear is Jared Leto go shh, and then everybody just quiets down. He was like, I don't know where he was at, in a submarine, in a stadium or something. And then he was like, "Yeah, I want you to come back and play Joker for this one." He was like, "I'll get back to you." Then he just hands up.
What?
He's like,
Dude,
"Yeah, it was like."
Jared Leto actually sounds like Joker now, like in real life. Just I knew he was training for it for a while, but I feel like it got to his head. What?
Yeah.
Dude, that's wow. I'm speechless. Now we need Ben Affleck to actually become Batman and stop the Skull. What I'm waiting on.
I'm telling you, I would love like some kind of adaptation of Batman Endgame, but with Affleck and Jared Leto. But
Mhm.
if he, I want to hear Jared Leto do like a not the laugh that he does. I mean, I'm fine with the laugh, kind of, but I want to hear like a not disjointed laugh. If that makes any sense. Where he's like ah
Yeah.
ah ah, like that.
Yeah.
Like, I wanna see, like, what other takes he has, because I know when he was doing when he was coming up with the laugh, he was trying to make, like, the most disturbing one, so he would just laugh to random people on the streets, and he was like, "Ah, this is it right here."
I mean, I would be disturbed with the slow one, probably. It becomes awkward and disturbing, so and that's the worst type of disturbing. But
Mm,
uh, dude, I don't know what my original opinion was, but as I matured, I thought Lex. Always forget. I'm really bad with actor names, but Lex
Jesse
Luthor.
Eisenberg.
There you go, Lex Luthor, dude. I love the way he portrays it. Love it, love it, love it. The end credit
I
scene with
like
Deathstroke. I like the
Mhm,
snarkiness. It's
mhm,
probably just weird because for everyone else, I still love it because he's a little bit younger and he acts a little bit younger in the
mhm,
way that Lex probably would in the comics. But dude, I love his snarky little comebacks and the way he talks. And so when was talking to Deathstroke, it got me pretty excited for like how Zach envisioned to
mhm.
because and now I'm thinking to myself, how did he want to set this up? And then now it leaves you more mystery because what are were they talking about the Batman solo movie that he was
Yeah,
gonna have?
that
Okay,
that was gonna lead into Batfleck's solo movie, which he was gonna write, direct, and star in.
so was that gonna be in the middle of the two films, or was that gonna be
Uh,
after
yeah, that was
everything?
this was gonna be before Justice League 2, because
Okay,
Justice League 2 would end on a cliffhanger, and everything would need to happen before that, of course.
yeah. So how long does Darkseid take to actually come to Earth?
My man is taking his sweet time where he's like, you don't need to fill it up all the way. We can fill it up tomorrow. We can fill up talking about the gas and the ships or something. But yeah, that I was like, I want this Batfleck movie, especially with what Joe Manganiello was talking about, how Batgirl was gonna be in there too, and how Deathstroke was kind of like this shark horror villain kind of thing, just messing with Bruce's life on like a mental level. And I was like, yo, that sounds crazy.
Right.
I wanna see it. I want the script out there. If we never get the movie, I want to read the script.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I always thought Batfleck was like pretty overall pretty nice compared to like most Batman that we have seen and portrayed in films. And I always thought that if we did have the solo film, I wanted to be a step up for him. A
Hmm.
little moment to get more into why he's this type of Batman and maybe see a little more nitty gritty to his character. Because
Hmm.
I really I think that he can pull it off. In my opinion, he's not all the way there yet, but he definitely
Hmm.
can. He definitely can.
Mhm. The thing I always like that always attracted me to Affleck was I know like when I first saw him killing, I was like, "Yo, what's going on right now?" I was like, "Why is he murdering people?" And then like as the more I rewatched BVS, I was like, "Oh, because there's a little scene with Alfred that he has like 2 seconds long, and he's like, that's how it starts. The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men." And he looks up and down at Bruce, and it says "cruel." I was like, "Oh my gosh, I get it now." I was like, "This man's clearly gone off his path, and I want to see that explored, of course."
Hey man,
Um,
I mean, you saw him using the gun in the end of Snyder.
yeah.
You saw him using the guns. You saw him using guns,
Mhm.
which we can debate if you count the guns on the Batmobile, which definitely count, but
Yeah, I've always kind of noticed like people just kind of accept Batman killing aliens, but like not humans.
yeah, yeah, his literal Gatling guns on his.
He can blow up parademons' heads, but if he blows up a human head, no.
Oh wait, did we talk about? I didn't notice in the movie, but I should have. I was till I watched not Confirmed, Comic Explain video on it. Wonder Woman when she was killing, I'm not killing, but taking care of the terrorist in
No, she
the
murdered.
bank. Yeah, she killed her. she 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 punched one into the wall, and you literally saw his skull like break into blood. That
And then
was
she like obliterated the last dude. On top of that, making a whole bunch of property damage. And the girl was like, "Can I be like you one day?"
yeah. I'm like, what are you teaching these kids, dude? That was I didn't notice she murdered until after them. Like I know she at least murdered the last guy with the little X thing she does, but
Yeah,
the other
I
ones
was
I
like,
didn't notice she murdered twice. Watched it again, and I saw the blood stains. So I was like, oh yeah, I guess I should have assumed that.
I noticed that the first time. I was like, "Oh yeah, that dude's dead, bro. There's no way he survived that."
It's so funny because usually Marvel is the one that doesn't care, and DC is usually the one that always cares. No, no, Zack's like, no, we don't have to worry about that. It's my
Mhm.
universe,
Or
he
at
said.
least the fact this movie is rated R too.
Yeah,
Um, it wasn't like really gory, but there was some blood in this movie for sure.
I
There was some blood.
didn't even notice the f bombs like throughout the movie because I thought I would notice them. Batman saying that, I'd be like, "Oh, Batman said the F word," but like, no,
The
I didn't
first
notice at the very end. I was like, "Oh shoot, when did he say that?"
the first one stuck out to me a lot because I wasn't expecting it from Cyborg of all people. It's like,
Oh,
oh, it's like, okay, dang, what the world do to you? And I was like, oh, never mind. I get you. I get it.
man, what a great movie! Like the ability, the way that we have the ability to talk about it like this. That's when you know it's a great movie. You know,
Mhm.
when we can talk about how funny it is for one of the characters to do something that's totally not in their character, but it still works. It works perfectly. No, it's great. It's great. Let's see what else. What else is there?
I want to get into some nightmare stuff or something.
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. When I tell you guys I love the nightmare stuff or just like the idea of nightmare world, I truly mean that. I mean, okay, let's look back at the 2017 cut. We got no nightmare stuff. So it's like if you watch BVS and then 2017 cut, you're like, okay, you're not explaining the nightmare stuff to me. Please explain. This one's like, okay, we got you. We'll explain it to you. And so when they resurrect Superman in the 2017 one, they're just saying, "Oh yeah, I think something's gonna go bad." They're like, "Okay, it's gonna go bad. Just keep doing it, whatever the heck." It's like, okay, but then in this one, okay, they're still saying, they don't have a like. It's like, I don't really have a good feeling about this. And then Cyborg gets that vision of the future, which, my gosh, they spoiled in the TV spot. Sadly, we see the world or the Unity freaking succeeding, and then it pretty much obliterates Earth. And then you see Darkseid vibing on his throne, looking directly at the camera. You see Desaad on his right, Granny Goodness on his left. Yep, Granny Goodness is in this movie. Let's go. And then
Confirmed.
what's the next shot? You see Wonder Woman kind of like as some kind of like she's like a warrior's burn death kind of thing, and she has like these two coins on her eyes, which is apparently like something they would do. That's like that derives from Greek mythology right there, how they would honor warriors and stuff. And you see that fire pit right there, and then all the Amazons, or specifically her mother, looking with a tear going down her face. You see all the Amazons kind of like they're captured in a way, like they're looking head down. And you see dark side ships, and then what's actually funny too, um, one of the ships opens up, and you see Darkseid actually standing, looking, watching the funeral. kind of showing he does have some kind of respect for Wonder Woman, which I actually think is kind of interesting. And then it's like, oh, Wonder Woman's dead. Okay, and what we gonna start off with next? And you see Aquaman getting stabbed by his own freaking trident. And do you know what comes next? We see Darkseid use his freaking Omega beams. Wow, I love me some Omega beams. Then of course he looks right at the camera again. And then what's the next shot we see? Of course, we see what's his face? Superman in the Batcave. And yes, it's the Batcave. You see Robin's suit in the back, the same one from BVS, on the ground, holding a charred body, and Darkseid walking towards him with, with his eyes kind of glowing, suggesting he just finished using the Omega beams. Of course, that body, if you didn't know, is of Lois Lane.
Which
You know,
might or may or not be pregnant. I think it is.
actually, Zach did say she was pregnant.
Oh, he said it. He openly said it.
Yeah, yeah, he straight up said like, yeah, she's pregnant, which is also one of the reasons why Superman
Sweet.
kind of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
snapped back to reality at the end because he saw, oh shit, she's pregnant. And it's like, holy crap, this is Lois. And then, of course, what do you pick up with next? Oh yeah, Darkseid putting his hand on his shoulder. And then the next shot, you actually see that actual nightmare world, and you see a dead Green Lantern. I thought it was a Tomar Ray for a second, but then I rewatched. I was like, oh shoot, that's Kilowatt.
Yeah.
That he's pretty beefy too. And then Superman like hovering over the remains of the Hall of Justice, holding Batman's mask, and then looking at the camera again. I guess everybody just loves breaking the fourth wall in the nightmare sequence. But then once that ends, it's like holy crap. Because what happens after that too is that the ship says the future is now rooted in the present. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel the stakes of this now
Yeah.
much more than the 2017, which is like, I think something's gonna go bad.
Yeah, but then Cyborg lets it happen. He's like, oh, okay. I mean, he doesn't. He tries to stop him, but it still happens.
Mm. And then something cool too, like when the Flash he goes to like touch the mother box actually hits the that liquid first, but then time reverses so slightly so that Flash can actually hit at the exact moment. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a little setup right there. I was like, that's a little setup for that amazing Flash sequence we get at the end in which he reverses time, saves the Justice League in a glorious fashion. Awesome stuff right there.
Perfect stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So I assume that the reason it went backwards is because Barry was going so fast that once he hit that certain point of going fast, he started reversing time. Is that what happened? Or is that not what happened?
It seems like because I know beforehand he was like, weird things happen to time and stuff, but I can make the charge. Seems like he's not 100% in control of it because by the end of the movie, he says you got to break the rule, pretty much saying you pretty much got to go all out.
Yeah. Okay. That's I did I just wanted to make sure if I was interpreting it right. But what else? Oh man, I was listening, then I forgot. Shoot. Uh, mm, nope, it's gone. It's gone. Yeah, we
Well,
know it was something about the nightmare sequence. Something about the nightmare sequence. But
well,
I loved it. I know I loved it. Nightmare sequence. 10 out of 10. We need that movie now.
yeah, I want to get to the last part of the nightmare stuff because, as you know, I loved that little interaction, even if it was kind of short between Batman and Joker. Uh, Maybe because Batman says the F bomb. I don't know. Maybe that's why I like it. But just the way it opens up too. You see like a charred body inside of a car, and then back we go clear. But it was like in a normal voice, and then it goes back to like his synthesized voice, which I think is kind of interesting. It does that back and forth throughout the movie, for reasons not quite sure. But
Right.
was it Mara with her British accent again? It's like I'll stab
Oh,
the
I
boss.
remember. I remember. Uh, yes. So looking at what the nightmare sequence was, how strong actually is the anti-life equation? Because I don't know. In the comics, they always made it seem like once Darkseid has it, it's pretty much over. Everything's done, and like I thought it was kind of like an infection, like kind of just keeps going to all matters like
It's
done
like that's what
for.
they did with the deceased, pretty much.
Yeah. That's what I'm like
Derived
mainly
from
inferring to.
Yeah, which
So
derived from, what Final Crisis did, because what the way they spread the anti-life equation in Final Crisis was through the internet, because that's the one thing everybody had. They were always looking at a screen, looking at their phones, all this stuff, and they put the anti-life equation out there, and they're like, "Oh, cool. Anyways, dark side is." Like,
yeah,
that's how it pretty much ended up going.
So yeah, so now I'm thinking to myself because so either in my opinion, it's a different type of force that we didn't see yet, or well, how I think it works. First, you have to break the individual, like their morals, or like
Mhm,
accept let they have to accept the anti-life equation themselves, and then they're
mhm,
fully under the influence of dark side, and that's what I think happened to Superman.
mhm.
Or either
Yeah.
that, or we haven't seen it yet. So I don't. I feel like maybe it might be a little bit underwhelming for the anti-life equation if it is the
Mhm,
way Superman says, because then like you have to break every single person you see before you use it, or like they at least have to want it before they can use it.
mhm.
And so I don't know. I just thought that was pretty interesting to think about. See how
Yeah.
they're gonna use it.
I'm interested in Zach's take on it because even in this one, the anti-life equation is like in the Earth
Yeah,
too, which I was like, oh, that's pretty cool actually. But it seems like in this, I guess for like the really strong-willed individuals like Superman himself, you gotta hit him where it hurts, pretty much.
facts, facts.
Um, so that's pretty interesting. But on that nightmare stuff again, um, we see we see Flash, Ezra Miller, who's actually I think he's all CGI if I'm not mistaken because he had a film that's seen across the world. He was filming Fantastic Beasts 3 and Zach directed him on Zoom.
Ooh,
So
I didn't
it's
know
pretty awesome. That's also why he didn't get one line at all. He was just there just
that.
to look cool, which I love that nightmare suit that he has.
Yeah.
Who the heck is texting me? Oh. But what else happens? You see Deathstroke. His instead of like the orange and black, it's like a gray and black too, and he's not rocking his helmet. He's rocking that mohawk. And then what does she say? Oh, he's like, I'll stop the bastard in the heart for what he did to Arthur. He's like, I understand how you feel. And it's like, who have you ever loved? And you hear Joker in the back laugh. He's like, oh, on contraire, something like that. And they start talking. It's like, I don't know, a mother, a father. He's like, be very careful what you say next. Like, an adopted son. I was like, yo,
Yo,
stop playing with me. I was like, yo, don't do that. Don't
bro,
do him like
go ahead and reincite the whole script. But
that.
dude, yeah, I'm so happy they finally started talking about Robin again. Uh,
Yeah.
we need to explore that. That's the one thing I do want from the Joker and Leto and Ben Affleck. I want to explore what happened to him. I want to see the
Mm,
effect on Bruce right away. Not now, but I want to see how he took it in the moment, because I feel like
mm,
right after he would go on a rampage, kind of,
mm,
like you said, reflect on his morality and kind of go off the deep end for a little bit harder than he already is. But
mhm.
yeah,
Because
uh,
the interest
and
I don't know.
go ahead.
Because the interesting thing about this one is that the Robin that's dead is actually not Jason Todd,
Yeah.
according to Zach, it's actually Dick Grayson. And the
Hmm.
reason he provided for that is because if Jason Todd had died and Dick Grayson was already around, Dick Grayson would have stopped Batman from going on this killer rampage. He would have been that moral compass for Batman.
Hmm.
But if you kill his pretty much first adopted son, who would also be his moral compass, you can't stop him pretty much, and he's just going on his rampage, which unleashes Superman, of course, giving him hope by the end of BVS.
Right.
Which I was like,
And
I like that justification. I was like, it makes sense to me.
we finally
Like,
get
I
a
can,
clear explanation for Flash going back in time and saying Lois is the key. So I just, but so are they blaming Batman for Lois dying? Like,
okay,
what
so
what did Batman do to Lois?
so you mean like the original where like they were like a thing? I'm sorry. So what was always going to be consistent, and even like based on the original plans for Justice League 2, and what we can assume still going to go down if we ever get Justice League 2, is that Batman was in charge of protecting Lois, and she was in the Batcave, and Superman straight up told him, "Yo, protect her with your life, blah blah blah." And well, obviously she's dead. Superman feels betrayed in a sense,
Yep.
and then anti-life equation, and that's why we in the nightmare sequence from BVS, he's like, "She was my world, and you took her from me." It's just like, what the heck's going on? And then he injustice styles him as if he were Joker, but he's Batman, of course.
Yep. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot
Hmm.
about that. Yo. Oh, dude, that just flooded in. Like it took me a second. They're like, whoa. Oh yeah. Now I kind of want to see that again. That was pretty cool.
That's when he wakes up, and then Flash is like, "It's Lois. She's the key." And then he asks, "Oh, am I too soon?" He's like, "Ah, dang it, I'm too soon." Which I don't know if you want to know what their time travel concept for was, because just I
Yeah.
really
So
like it.
are we gonna explain the visions? at one point? Like, how is he having visions? Like,
Yeah, I don't. It's strange. Somebody brought up this crazy freaking theory, which I was like, I don't think they're
okay.
gonna do that. Um, because like like in the history lesson after they whoop Darkseid's or Euxis's butt, you see all the tribe of man burying it. There's somebody in the back that looks like Ben Affleck. Like they should look like Ben Affleck, suggesting they're like, oh, what if they're adapting that thing from Final Crisis where when Darkseid shot Batman with the Omega beams and he technically didn't die, he sent him back to time. He's like, what if that's him? I was like, if that's him, I'll be damned. But I don't think it's gonna be him. Um, kind of like I don't know. Some people are saying that he's feeling like the
the different.
effects of like the nightmare timelines because
Yes, that's what I heard too.
all the nightmare timelines end with, or the two we've seen so far end with Superman pretty much clapping them at the end, pretty much.
Yeah, what I heard was that it's a different timeline, right? And for some reason or another, they somehow sent a signal from that universe to prevent it happening from another universe, which would affect their universe. I don't know, but basically, what the theory was that they were sending mental signals throughout different timelines that were extremely, extremely, extremely similar, if not the same, and basically telling them to stop it before it happens to their timeline, which isn't. I don't see as it can be totally off. You would just have to explain it in some crazy time travel flash BS way, which they normally
Unless
do.
it's like watch it be like Martian Manhunter, kind of like projecting everything
That's
that's
what I was thinking
happening,
too. I think they could have done that, but then like I
like
don't know,
hit timelines or something.
is he that strong? Do you think he can do that through timelines, or like
I have, I mean, I don't know if he can like somehow project it through Flash or something through the speed. I don't know.
just
If
random,
Snyder can make it sense, okay.
just like at
If
random moments though? Just like
I don't know, probably
specifically when he's sleeping.
it's weird. Oh yeah, that's weird because he wakes up and then Martian Manhunter's there. He's like, "Hey, I'm
Hey,
here.
hey,
Sorry,
did you have a vision? I mean, hey, the baby. What? Anyways,
did you have a nightmare? Did you have a nightmare, Bruce?" I
he just goes up to him face. You want to talk about something? You have any questions or yeah?
was like, "Yeah, my bad. Sorry, I didn't. I know the world ended like twice, but right now Darkseid is vibing on his throne, and I need to step in. All
Wow.
right, I don't care. He's chilling right now. That means I need to step in at this moment."
Still would have would have seen Green Lantern though. The end of that cutscene.
Yes, freaking Warner Brothers said, "Yeah, no, we don't want you to introduce Green Lantern. We'll do him ourselves." Where's the
Yeah.
introduction, Warner Brothers? Where is it, huh? Where's our John Stewart? Where's our Hal Jordan? Where's our Green Lantern Corps introduction, huh? Oh yeah, nowhere.
They're space cops. How are they not noticing what's happening? It's ridiculous.
Hey,
They are space cops. Darkseid's like should be on their radar. They're like, oh, giant overlord that lives on that one planet. Yeah, let's just ignore him for now. Going to Earth, not important. Yeah, it's just disappointing. Disappointing. I wanted. Oh,
because we were gonna get John Stewart too.
yeah, John.
Exactly. We were gonna get John Stewart. I was like, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Which already tells us that there's a Hal Jordan out there somewhere. Um,
Right. I
but
but
yeah,
I'd rather have John Stewart than Hal Jordan first for sure. I
per,
just I just
per-
feel like
I like
have
John Stewart
yeah having him first feels right for when it's a different timeline. Like I mean, it sounds kind of weird to say, but it feels like it's kind of like when you're listening to alternative music, you just want to keep having alternative music just going through your playlist. This is what I mean.
Mhm.
Since everything is so different in this timeline, obviously it's so unique compared to comics. I want something different. I want more different. I like Hal Jordan, but no, move over John Stewart time.
Mm. Oh, what do you think about the like? You ever thought about this? The events that we're seeing play out. This isn't even the was it what the hell am I trying to say? This is just the way this timeline resolves, or at least the timeline we're watching, isn't gonna resolve. Anyways, it would be another one that would technically save it. Oh wait, kind of don't know about that. It's
So
but the point is that there have been timelines before this one explaining how Flash, of course, said, "Hey, you
that's
right
that's what
there."
I'm talking about. That's what the vision, the one theory I was talking about with the visions, with the Ben Hall vision, that's kind of what I'm talking about. There's like different timelines
Hmm.
coexisting with it, parallel, and they're like trying to warn each other, which is pretty crazy. But I mean,
Hmm.
maybe it's like parallel universes, and they're warn each other, but one warns the other one first, so that later the other one's like, "Hey, we should do the same thing, and we should warn another one." And then the
Mm.
warning actually goes back in time, so they're both warning each other in the past. But uh, dude, that's I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of like what's it called. I mean, I guess it's not really at all like, but not Dark Side War, just Justice League War, the animated one, the very ending. It's like new timeline rebirth.
Oh yeah, Dark Apocalypse War.
There we go.
Uh,
It's just like we need a fresh start. We need to screw everything and look at somewhere else, and that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna, if it happens, they're gonna screw this timeline and be like, you know what, you're the true timeline. You have to do this for us for the sake of
mm,
the multiverse, I guess. Which kind of sucks. Can you imagine that? Saying, you know what, our universe is gonna die, everything we love and know, but you know what? If you can make it out, it's okay.
mm.
I
Speaking
don't know
of
if I
which,
could.
they,
I don't know
they
if I could
did.
be that selfish. Selfless.
Speaking of which, they did name drop the multiverse, which you
Fact.
know me, or if you do know me, I love the multiverse. So it got my tinglies tingling. I was
I
like,
mean,
ooh, verse.
technically, they already dropped the multiverse when they met Grant, but
I know, but like this would have came out beforehand, obviously. Um, But the thing about the CW is like we never knew if like the movies were like ever gonna be part of that multiverse, which of course they are now, which is awesome because the way Flash is gonna get his name in the Flash movie is because of that interaction with him and Grant in Crisis, which is that's a nice way to keep things connected. Um,
I just forgot. Yeah, they never call him Flash, right?
they never call him Flash,
That's funny. Damn. That's
but like when they name drop multiverse and stuff, and they said the mother box from like different universes, I was like, yo, let me find out. Let me find out Zach's new updated plan somehow involved like multiverse travel or something.
well.
Let me find.
Check this out. So if we get the Flash movie coming up, right?
Mhm.
And they don't. I mean, assuming they don't go with Snyder Cut verse, then they're gonna have a continuity thing because what if he gets his name here in the movie and they don't reference the CW event? What does that mean? Like which one is he? Are we gonna see a cameo of him going to the CW one before the Flash movie as like a prelogue, and then see him get his name and be like, oh, in the movie, like right in the beginning of the movie, they're like, okay, guess my name is the Flash now. How are they gonna do that? How are they gonna pull that one off?
Yeah. I heard that apparently there was a scene that he was like coming up with names or something. Which I mean, if that's how they want to go about it in the Snyderverse, I mean, I'm fine. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's interesting if he just like is randomly called Flash, unless because remember, the sequel was gonna go off like to the assumption that like Batfleck got his own movie, that that Aquaman was a little more closer to canon with Mara's father being dead, and that the Flash movie was gonna come out. So maybe in that Flash movie that was supposed to come out in 2018, he was gonna get the Flash name in that movie rather than getting it from Crisis crossover.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
To think it's crazy to think about how different things have like how different things are, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, can you imagine the alternate timeline where this went the right way the first time? Crazy.
I think about that a lot. I'm like, man, I really wish things had gone right, and we
Yeah,
could have seen like part two and part three already. That would have been
we
epic.
would have been much more ahead, and probably have a lot better CW. I mean, not CW. DCU movies, standalone movies.
Because you know what? They were all gonna be more connected, which somebody noticed something. All the movies that are like pretty closely connected happen to make the most money out of the
Yeah.
ones that are like the most recent ones. Like Shazam, I feel like that movie's not really connected, but I feel like you could put in the Snyderverse if you want to. It just references the Justice League. That's it. Um, of I used to
What?
think Man was part of Snyderverse, but it's not. What was I talking about again? Jeez, I kind of went off the rails here. Oh yeah, but Alchemist kind of connected to Snyderverse still. I mean, it did make 1 billion, so um, so it's still connected. But like Birds of Prey movie didn't make a lot. Shazam didn't make a lot. I have no clue how much Wonder Woman 84 is making right now.
Mm-hmm.
Streaming numbers is like different plus what it made in the box office. We'll have to see about that. But I do know that Snyder Cut beat it out pretty quick. So
Yeah. Uh, just to watch. They say, okay, fine. Snyder cut is canon. And then the day after, Snyder's like, oh, by the way, Hawking's Phoenix Joker, yeah, that's canon too. In my verse, he's gonna be the one that made he's gonna be the the original Joker. That's the one that inspired Jared Leto.
Watch
Jesus
him do like
Joker.
a watch it turn out like Zach like had already been thinking about three Jokers before three Jokers ever came out. He was like,
Oh
"Yo,
God,
I'm ahead of you, Jeff Johns."
dude, can you imagine? I can't. No, I can't. Jared Leto and Joaquin Phoenix in the same room as their Jokers. It's
That's like such a contrast right there.
Zach Polar. What? I'm thinking of.
What
I'm
were you
trying to. I'm
polar up?
Yeah, right. I'm trying to say polar, and earlier I was researching like bipolar stuff, so now I'm just saying bi. But yeah, polar opposites, dude. That would be insane. But funny. Ooh, okay, what else? What else?
Um, what is it? Oh, one thing I thought was an improvement from this movie, or from this one compared to 2017, was actually Steppenwolf. Not just design wise, but I feel like he had a little bit more of a personality. Because in the last one, he was like mother, it's just like
Yeah,
it's he had like
the
feathers
face
for like
thing. It's his
he
face
was
thing.
oh my gosh, he had this he had this weird like fetish, and, like he wanted to have like an orgy with the mother boxes or something. That's what it seemed like. There was a lot of sexual tension between that. And they like barely reference the fact that he's been exiled. He just says, "Yes, I'm exile. I'll have myself among the new gods." Um, well, in this one you get a little more depth to it too. You like you find out he's 50,000 planets in depth. I think it's
Yeah.
just funny. And even like when he like sees Darkseid, that armor comes off, and it's his face too. It's a lot more like
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. People were saying he had, like puppy eyes during that scene.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how I felt.
Please take me back.
Dude, I don't know what it was with that scene, but when the collarbone popped out, I was like, dang, that's nice. Like just the feel, just the like the feeling of how real that looks, and like the feeling of how real that like the CGI looked on that. I was like,
Mm.
I just gotta admire those collarbones for a second. Dude,
Speaking of
it's
which, I thought
awesome.
the CGI, I mean, was pretty good. I mean, except for like a few little places. But I mean, I can't fully critique the CGI considering the conditions this movie was made in, and pretty much everything was done from home.
Right, but I mean, I don't know
You
if
even
you guys, I don't know if anyone like hearing this, like the two people that are watching this podcast. I don't know if you guys know this, the Snyder Cut. I was watching HBO Max on a smart TV, and when his Superman was rising up, finally getting his wearing his I think yeah, it was at the point where he had his black suit on from coming from his Superman ship when like he's thinking about his two fathers talking to him. He flies
Mm.
up and sees the sun. I saw his hand vibrate like the Flash for like a solid 1/2 second. Like the CGI messed up there for a second, but that was the only mistake I saw. I just thought it was hilarious. I don't even care. It's
And I know
perfect.
we talked about this for like 2 seconds. You sent me the video, and I was like, "What the heck?" But when I looked up videos on YouTube, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's just his hand normal. I was like, yo, you pirate HBO Max or something?
No, that's funny. Uh, yeah, I just thought that was super weird. I caught it the first time, and I'm like, what? What just happened? Like, I thought my eye like flickered or like spazzed out on me. Like, whoa. Because I mean, it's pretty noticeable in my opinion. Or maybe just my
Yeah, it
HBO
looked pretty.
Max. I don't know.
You sent the video to me. I was like, "Yo, that's weird."
Yeah, but regardless, no, Henry Cavill's Superman. I wouldn't. This might sound controversial. I might not just be thinking it through enough, but
Hot take.
I think Henry Cavill, even though he did have a lot more story development, I mean character development, had the least amount of character development from the Justice League, or maybe Wonder Woman. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'd argue Wonder Woman had the
Yeah.
least.
I mean,
She didn't
you could
have too much
say
happen
that
with her.
that mascara counts a little bit because they had a lot more of that mascara and a lot more on Queen and how the Queen had to react with her people, which I would feed into Wonder Woman's character to getting to know
Mm.
more about how Wonder Woman, even though we had the original Wonder Woman movie, but other than that. I feel like Henry Cavill, everything played out pretty much the same for his character. I mean,
Mm.
what changed? I'm trying to think.
Uh, some of the lines just on the freaking that farm because my gosh, you look at the 2017 cut, the farm looked so freaking fake, and then
Really?
this one is like,
Ooh, that's a good
yes,
take on that.
it looks like it's pretty bad green screen, honestly. It's just like ugly. On top of that, no CGI mouth on Henry Cavill. He's not saying things like "I'm a fan of truth, but I'm also a fan of justice" or something like that. You know, he's not saying that. Which I mean, I never really minded that line, but I could tell. I was like, that's Whedon right there. I can tell
I mean,
because he's obviously
you had to
you know,
remind me of how bad the mustache cover up looked. Oh my god, dude! Like,
atrocious.
I can't believe that was actually saying. Like the first time I saw it, and like someone pointed out to me, I thought it was a like a what's it called? Like an edit. Like I thought someone like was making a meme or a joke. You know, like how people like deep fake people's faces now. I thought that was what was happening, dude. Like it was just so bad, dude. Oh man, I don't know. If they don't retcon, not retcon, but consider this one canon, man, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're making a huge mistake. I don't know if we went over this, but the freaking like trending tweet hashtag stuff hit 1.5 million, beating out Avengers Endgame, which is
Oh god.
huge because this was in a way shorter amount of time. Way shorter amount of time, which is unbelievable. I never thought I'd see the day where hashtag restore the Snyderverse would beat out the second highest grossing movie of all time. Yep,
Right.
I forgot Avatar beat it again, which is just funny. It wasn't even 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, it was so close though. It just needed one more month, and then boom. but um, but I never thought I'd see that day. I'm like, wow, that was really fast. Even Zach was like, "Yo, did we beat Avengers?" They're like, "Yes, we did." He was like, "That's huge, right there.
Yeah.
That's a right there. There's no way they're not gonna talk about that."
I mean, I'm sure it had to do a little bit with one being quarantined and then having on HBO Max. A lot more people would have access to it. But
Mm-hmm.
regardless, the community that he's developed, the message he has behind it, which I don't know if I talked about in the beginning, the message he has with his daughter, uh, the struggle he went through behind it, and all the proceedings of he did so many charity streams, dude, and so many things for suicide prevention, which is incredible, amazing,
Yeah,
and just Zach's such a good guy. I just again, I'll say it a million times. Really happy it came out the way it did.
yeah, yeah. It
Mm.
was. I also feel just so happy for him too. I remember it was the red carpet premiere, and it was like when they finally got him and his wife connected on Zoom or whatever the heck, and Zach just had a smile like nonstop. Like he was just like
Yes,
he was high.
I thought he
It's
would. I thought he would be upset by how long the Zoom was taking, but no, man, he was just so happy. He was so positive. I mean, it's one of those smiles that you can't fake. Like he was sincerely just like trying to fix the Zoom, but he was so excited to watch this movie with his wife in his little home theater.
yes. I get kind of jealous. Like this man has a whole theater in his house. I'm just like this man is balling. What a freaking legend, man. Um, yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah. What else is there? I think
Oh,
that covers most of it. We're at
mm,
an hour and 4 minutes right now.
wow. So far, this is our longest one, right?
Mm, I don't know how long Crisis went. Crisis on
That was like
Infinite Earths.
46 minutes, I think.
Okay, okay, then yeah, this is definitely the longest one because there's only the other one. This is the second one.
Real quick, did you wanna go over what the original plans for Justice League 2 and 3
Yes,
were?
yes. Go ahead.
I have no idea how long it's going to take.
Inform me, because you.
Alright.
Let's tell them first. He actually went to the exhibit.
Yes, the exhibit is at the AT&T district in downtown Dallas, I believe. And it's called the landscape or the dreamscape of Zack Snyder's Justice League. And inside they have a bunch of costumes from the movie, specifically the nightmare stuff. So you see Nightmare Batman suit, uh, Nightmare Mara, Joker. You don't see the was it you don't see the Nightmare Flash suit technically. I mean, you see a little statue of it, but then to kind of accommodate for the fact that they never made an actual Nightmare suit for Flash, they have his actual costume from the movie just there. Um, Also, they got Deathstroke's outfit, and I mean, Cyborg doesn't have an outfit, so they just had a statue of Cyborg there. And what they also had was the I think it was 12 storyboards, 12 giant whiteboards, of Zack Snyder's Justice League plan for part 2 and 3, written by Jeff Johns. Actually, it was actually like lettered by Jeff Johns, according to Zack. And the storyboard was done by the fantastic Jim Lee. And let me tell you, that art was fantastic. I'll tell you that.
I bet.
And yeah, it had all his plans on there, which I mean, saying everything that happens here isn't a spoiler because well, Zach says he did say that he does have a seventh, or like no, it's like a secret whiteboard that does have the actual plans moving forward if they were to go ahead and greenlight Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2, I guess is what you would call it. So, I mean, some of this could definitely still make it in. I mean, some key points, like we talked about earlier, Lois's death, that was always gonna be a huge thing right there. Um, but I don't know if I think I told you it was before the podcast that the vibes I got from this were kind of like the Scott Snyder's,
Yeah, yeah.
not Zack Snyder, Scott Snyder,
Scott Snyder's.
Justice League run with like, mhm. The reason I say is because the Legion of Doom was actually in this,
Oh, really?
or as they say, the Injustice League.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. So
Dude, that's awesome. I
oh,
wish I
sorry, I
could
had a
see those
burp there for a second.
storyboards. Those storyboards. What was that?
I
Storyboards.
I have the leaked
Storyboards
pictures.
sound incredible, man.
Oh yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
oh
So
yeah, I
keep
forgot to mention there were also
explain,
two
explain, explain. Okay.
there
Sorry.
were some there were security guards that were making sure you didn't take pictures of the storyboards too. But what's funny is that the day before it was supposed to open, the storyboards all leaked. So I have all the leaked photos of the storyboard. So that's how I read it before I found a transcript. I was like, God dang it, I had trouble reading it. But anyways, so the thing about this script, it says everything you're about to read was put together by Zack Snyder, Chris Terrio, and featured art by Jim Lee. It was the original storyboard layout for Justice League 2 and 2A is what they called it. This was created in 2016 before they rewrote the first Justice League, which is now known as Zack Snyder's Justice League. All this is subject to change should Zack be allowed to continue his story, but this was his original story. And so it says it kind of gives you like a bit of synopsis, but I might as well just start off where like the actual story kicks off because it kind of just goes through like what their arcs are going to be, talk about how it's going to be more grounded because it wasn't necessarily focusing on the big dark side invasion. Anyways, Justice League 2, which would have came out in 2019.
Mhm.
So, which would actually, and then Justice League 3 actually came out in 2020. But if things had actually gone according to plan, everybody knows what happened in 2020. A whole pandemic hit, so we probably wouldn't have seen it unless
That's
it came out
facts.
early in the year,
Hmm.
or probably would have seen it right now. It would have been Justice League Part 3 instead of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Anyways, it says the Justice League United. We open with the Justice League enacting during a natural disaster, working as efficient, powerful team they've become weeks after Justice League 1. Oh wow, weeks after Justice League 1. Okay, I didn't even notice that.
Weeks.
They act together, they save lives, but they're refugees, so political tension is high, the world is on edge. In the aftermath, the Justice League regroup at the headquarters they know, the Batcave. Flash is enthusiastic, while Superman remains a bit distant, at least with Batman, and Aquaman is facing a continued skepticism of the surface world and his involvement in it by the people of Atlantis. Wonder Woman relates to Arthur. Her people abandoned this world long ago. It is clear that although the Justice League is united, the world is not. And that's a big thing right there.
Yep.
The League goes back to their individual lives. Oh, mend old wounds. Oh, that's what it says. Except for Batman, who's dealing with fresh ones left alone in the cave. I think I know what this is referring to based on what we know from the original or the Batman plans.
Yep.
It says Bruce and Lois. All right, that's like its own thing. Bruce secretly meets with Lois, both of them still searching for Lex Luthor. There's tension between them since Superman has returned. The meeting ends after Lois tells Bruce and Superman that Superman needs her more than ever. Bruce knows Lois is hiding something else. I'm pretty sure you can figure that out before I tell you. Lex Luthor recruiting his own league. So that's this next part right here. Meanwhile, in the deep Brazilian jungle, Lex Luthor locates Dr. Maru, last seen in Wonder Woman 2017. She was a Dr. Poison. You
Oh,
remember
okay.
her?
Yeah, yeah.
So somehow she's still alive because in the storyboards they drew her like she hadn't aged.
Hmm.
So maybe she's, I don't know. Oh,
Captain
but never
America.
mind. Oh,
Okay.
but never mind. I guess I missed this. It says still alive, experimenting on herself, prolonging her life, and testing new chemical weapons on unfortunate human lab rats. Like an obsessed stalker, Maru has spent decades collecting information and artifacts on Diana and the Amazons. Now that Diana has become known to the world, Lex offers Maru a chance at revenge, the same revenge he wants on Diana's friends, Superman and Batman. Maru accepts, Lex smiles, and it's a quote from him, "Let it begin." Ah, it says, in the at Kama Desert, with Maru's help, Lex breaks Orm, which is Ocean Master Aquaman's
Oh.
brother, of course, and Black Manta out of the desert prison where they were in prison at the end of Aquaman 2018. So this doesn't happen, or Black Manta isn't in prison. We know in the Aquaman movie, Orm is in prison,
Yeah.
but they never really specify where. If they wanted to kind of try to fit it into canon, they could just say Orm's in some kind of desert
But yeah,
prison,
true.
which I think would be kind of messed up. But yeah, it says outside of Central City in Iron Heights Penitentiary, Lex finds Leonard Snart, where he left in the Flash 2018 movie. So yes, Captain Cold was gonna be in the Flash movie, and offers Leonard a chance to advance his weaponry and take down the fastest man alive. Intercut Lex and the villains with the Just League, returning to their lives. In Metropolis, Superman asks Lois where she's going to tell him. Oh, wait, what? She was wait. Okay. In Metropolis, Superman asks Lois when she was going to tell him. Tell you what, Clark. Superman says he can hear the second heartbeat. Uh, and she shouldn't call him Clark. Clark is dead. The world believes that too. Superman mistakes Lois' hesitation for fear. It won't hurt you, she says. Or no, he says. Dang it. Dang, I just realized this is a lot of transcripts. At the Louvre something something in Paris, Diana and Calliope, the Amazon who came toward Diana about Steppenwolf. Oh, you see, this is where it differs right off the bat, right here. So I'm guessing in the original Justice League, an Amazon would have came to warn Wonder Woman, based on what this is saying. Anyways,
Okay.
discovered there may be a way to remember the path back to Themyscira. Ooh, okay. Diana must use her lasso on herself to unlock her mind. It's a dangerous process, but Diana wants to help.
But what?
Manaya, yeah, they're gonna try to remember to get back to Themyscira using the lasso of truth. You know how the lasso of
Huh.
truth is sometimes. It's weird.
Okay.
And, and Diana wants to see her mother again, even if she might reject her. Diana puts the lasso on, and suddenly she's overwhelmed by visions. Oh man, if you only saw the storyboard for this, it was so cool. In the beginning, they're wonderful. For the first time in over a century, Diana sees her home soaring over the island. She sees Amazons and finally her mother, but then her vision grows dark. Diana sees herself as the god of war in a battle with Superman. As she kills him, Diana cries out. Manaya frees Diana, from the lasso. Despite the pain and confusion, Diana remembers the way home. In a Central City courthouse, Barry's at a hearing thanks to Cyborg, Iris, and a troop of lawyers from Wayne. The state has examined new evidence that Barry and Victor have presented and agreed to reopen Henry Allen's case.
Ooh.
Barry's elated. He's excited.
Wait, 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 wait.
Along and
Barry,
under
Barry as Flash or Barry as Barry?
just just Barry. Yeah, I mean he's obviously the Flash at this point, but
So,
obviously he
oh,
can't be like, "Hey guys, I'm the Flash. That's my father in
I
prison."
forgot that Victor can not be a cyborg. I'm like, so is Cyborg just openly Cyborg hanging out with normal Barry Allen on the streets?
Oh, if I'm not mistaken, I think it says he's able to make some kind of like human disguise or
Okay.
something
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
All right, just making
Um,
sure. Continue.
so along an underwater continental shelf, Aquaman and Mera are in a violent battle with the last of the Seven Kingdoms, the Unseen. It explodes around tidal pools and active lava. Was it lava flows? Arthur has the Seventh King on the ground, his trident at his throat. The Seventh King tells him to kill him. Arthur says he wants an alliance, but the Seventh King refuses. Arthur leaves frustrated. The last kingdom refuses to unite. In the Batcave, Cyborg upgrades the cave, okay, even providing a female AI voice for Alfred, who's become the father figure of sorts. Looking at the empty cave around them, Cyborg as Alfred. Um, oh, I guess he's supposed to say ask because it just says as Alfred. Why he's never home? Alfred sullenly replies because then he'd have to face himself. Confused
Whoa,
to what that means.
we're gonna have Alfred plot. That's unique. You know, we're gonna develop his character.
I mean, hey, why not? Oh my gosh, that reminds me. I really liked his his relationship with Batman in this movie. Just those little things where he's like,
He's
"Oh, this is
really,
Alfred."
really sassy. Extremely sassy, dude.
And my mom noticed he has drip in like every scene. He never looks like ugly. He's always like in the hottest outfits. Anyways, Batman moves deep into the Canadian wilderness, doing second, following up on a lead that Lex may have been sighted in one of the remote towns. He fights his way through a secret location to discover not Lex hiding out, but the Riddler. Awake for days, maybe weeks, Riddler has a long, unkept beard, his fingers dirty, his ranting written across the walls of his cabin. He looks at Batman, a man possessed. Luther has asked a question. I had to know the answer. Lois is also on Luther's trail. She's located Dr. Morrow's lair in the Brazilian jungle. Lois writes everything in a journal, keeping it offline and private. She grows pale as she realizes who Morrow is and what Lex might be up to. He's forming a team of his own, which actually, funny enough, actually ties in with the 2017 the way that post credit scene went, because that one was
Yep.
actually setting up the Legion of Doom kind of thing, while this one was setting up the Batman. So interesting how that worked
Oh,
out.
that's me.
What the heck was that noise?
I sneezed. What? Did it sound that bad?
It sounded like I don't know. It sounded so weird. It sounded like a small animal.
Oh.
Anyway, back in the Canadian wilderness, Batman faces off against the Riddler. He tells Bruce about how Lex came to him for information. Lex presented the anti-life equation, the riddle of life itself, and the Riddler solved it. He knows what it can do.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. It's just
That was,
surprising.
that was a lot. That was a lot to take in right there, right? Just
Yeah,
that
I know.
one
Yeah,
little.
yeah. Okay.
I was like, whoa! He actually solved it. I was like,
Ri
that's a thing.
Riddler's that smart? Okay.
I like it says the riddle of life itself. I was like, that's crazy. He says,
Anti-life.
"And the Riddler solved it. He knows what it can do, and once it's unlocked, Lex will make life meaningless." The Riddler raises a gun, but points it at his own head. Time to solve the last riddle. Blam! Batman's shocked as Riddler kills himself.
Damn. What? Dude, this
The
has to
Justice
be they should make this a comic.
Yes, that if like if we can't continue the Snyderverse in movies, at least do comics, please.
Yes.
That would
Wow.
still make or hell, animated movies, why not? But I think this would work amazing as a comic book considering like how much is in this. I was like, yo, just be
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And
Okay.
it says the Justice League members unite with their families. Anyways, Wonder Woman and Manai arrive in Themyscira. Dinah's unsure what her mother's reaction will be, but a tearful and overjoyed Hippolyta embraces her. The Queen declares there will be a celebration unlike any other in Amazon history. Her daughter is home. In the oceans, Aquaman and Mera bring the final kingdom of the seven, the unseen, to their alliance. For the first time since Atlantis sank, is once again united. In
Nice.
Central City, for the first time since he was a kid, there is no wall of glass between Barry and his father. Henry Allen is released from prison, exonerated. Barry's about to tell his father who he is. In Metropolis, Lois returns to Superman, tells him she will accept Clark as son, but has to go. But she has to go. Still on the trail of Lex, in Gotham, Batman returns from the wilderness, shaken by Riddler's proclamation. Intercut with Lois discovering from General Swanwick that Lex has the three mother boxes. So I don't know if that just kind of came out of nowhere. Um, yeah,
Okay. For some reason,
but
I thought we were gonna take this to an injustice turn because you quickly flashed the scene from Flash about to tell his father to Superman, and I'm thinking to myself, why does it sound so familiar? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
but as we know, General Swanwick is a Martian Manhunter in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Still questioning what he was doing. Anyways, but yeah, somehow she discovers it from General Swanwick that Lex has the three mother boxes, and it literally says, "Oh no." Lex activates his plan. At the Three Rivers, helicopters survey the area. Lex is on the scene, his team elsewhere, but in contact with him. Lex activates the boxes, his true plan to destroy the Justice League and take the secret power called the anti-life equation for his own. It will give him power over all living life. The anti-life equation glows as Lex turns on the boxes. Cyborg blinks, feeling a horrible emptiness as the influx of data stops for the first time since he went online. As the boom tubes erupt in front of Lex, surprising him, emerging from the portal, Desaad, the horrific, sadistic servant of his master, Darkseid, who emerges behind him. Darkseid takes the power of the anti-life equation for himself. So this is how Darkseid comes into play. Superman versus Darkseid. In the Batcave, Batman was it? In the Batcave, Superman, Batman, and Lois regroup. They learn of Darkseid's arrival. Superman tells Bruce that this is a fight among the gods. She is my world, he tells Bruce. Protect her. Superman flies off to confront Darkseid. After Superman leaves, Bruce and Lois agree or argue. Bruce knows she's pregnant. Lois ends the argument by telling Bruce, "You're not the father." She tries to tell Bruce about what she's discovered with what Lex is planning, but he won't listen. At the Three Rivers, taking in Darkseid's arrival, Lex tells Darkseid, no, Lex tells Darkseid that Darkseid has the power to kill Superman. Darkseid moves forward, acknowledging Lex. He says to Lex, "I don't want him dead. I want Superman to submit." "The girl," says Lex. "She's the key to breaking his spirit." Superman arrives at the battle, and the battle erupts with Darkseid. Oh, this is almost done too. This is just part one, mind you.
Oh
But
my
Darkseid,
god, are you
yeah,
okay?
this is lengthy. But Darkseid booms to Lois, the Batcave collapsing around her, and Batman at his arrival. Bruce looks down at Darkseid from Lois from behind the glass wall above. Darkseid stares at Lois. Bruce is overwhelmed. What can he do? Superman flies at incredible speed to Gotham. He arrives just in time to see Darkseid unleashing his Omega beams from his eyes, turning Lois into ash. Superman cries out, his soul shatters. Grief-stricken, he moves to tear Darkseid apart, but Darkseid gazes at him, the power of the anti-life equation coursing through his veins. Superman stops, his mind infected by Darkseid. Bruce watches it all in horror. Superman grabs his head in pain, eyes burning. Justice League under attack. Before Lois is able to warn everyone, Lex signals to his team. This is before, Lois was able to warn everybody. On Themyscira, Dr. Maru, somehow she got there, unleashes a chemical gas that covers the island and kills the Amazons, who even Diana, who dies in her mother's arms. Maru dies herself, a sick and twisted smile on her face. In Atlantis, Orm and Black Manta attack the coronation, killing Arthur, Mara barely surviving herself, a cut across her face. In Central City, Leonard attacks Flash with his amped up weapons, courtesy of Lex Luthor. Cyborg is blown apart. is
Yep.
blown apart, saved Barry, losing his lower half. Back at the Batcave, Batman watches in horror as Darkseid takes full control of Superman. Superman turns on Batman, and he barely escapes. Lex believes he's won, but comes face to face with Superman. He looks at Lex with burning red eyes and lights him on fire. Lex screams as the world goes red and cuts to. Now remember that storyboard I sent you that one time that got leaked?
The one that I didn't read because I told you I didn't want to get spoiled.
Yeah, because like we thought it was gonna be the ending of Zack Snyder's
Yes,
Justice League.
yes.
It's the ending of this one, of
Okay.
part two. 5
Part
years
two.
later, yeah, it's actually the ending of part two, which is crazy.
Okay, good.
Sand dunes, smoldering pits, Gothic spires rising from the desert. Once this was Gotham, now like the rest of the Earth, it belongs to Darkseid. Coming over to Dune, post-apocalyptic Batman, as seen in BVS, with a ragtag army of rebels, the surviving members of the Justice League walk over the rise of Dune to see the dilapidated Wayne Manor. Batman leads them. Flash drags what's left of Cyborg behind him. Bruce looks up to the sky grimly. We need to get inside before night. He's coming. End part one. So that's that's
That's
part
it. I can't believe that just part one.
that's
That's
part that's part
so.
one.
So wait. So he wanted this to be a full movie. All of this in one,
Yeah, it literally said that at the
dude.
beginning. They wanted this to
Dude,
be one. This was part one, mind you. This would have been like the longest movie ever.
no. This probably would have been longer than Snyder Cut. This would have been like
Like,
6 hours. Yeah, dude, that's insane.
so you kind of see what I mean about
I have
Scott
to,
Snyder's. Oh, keep going.
yeah, I have to put a warning now on this podcast to be like, warning, to 20 minutes full of part one of, dude, it's just insane how much content there is in that.
But you
Also,
see what I mean? Oh, no,
yeah,
keep going.
no, no, yeah, no, yeah. I was gonna say Captain Cold. I'm curious how they would have portrayed him because it sounds like he's gonna be less rogue ish than usual. You know, like rogue, kind of like noble criminal. Sound like he's gonna go all out on Flash and just wants him dead, dead. So we'll
Hmm.
see. I mean, we
The,
won't see,
the
but
yeah, hopefully maybe. But you kind of see what I mean, like how I got Scott Snyder vibes from this, like the Legion of Doom
oh
comes and they
yeah,
bring a gun, and then that's when things kind of like go really bad, and it leads to a post-apocalypse kind of thing, which we see in Dark Knight's Death Metal. But a little bit happens between then. I mean, Batman Who Laughs comes into play. But that's the vibe I got from it. I was like, yo, these two men, they were probably in the same room together. Anyways,
man. So you see, wait, so you stood at the exhibit reading all of this?
I didn't read like the begin. I kind of like skipped to where it was like it was the ending of like part one. It was like where Superman just burns Lois and stuff. I was like, it just says,
Wow,
oh no, not Superman. It was when Superman burns Lex. I was like, I read it from there on, but like everything else I'd already read before because it leaked, of course. And then I read from that moment all the way to the end, and I was like, this is glorious.
that's
The
insane. That sounds awesome, dude.
that was part one. Anyways, now 45 minutes of part two.
Are you sure about this?
Yep,
Okay, go
it's
ahead.
gonna be it's gonna be the best podcast ever. So let's see. It's 101 right now. Let's see how long it takes.
Okay.
All right. Justice League 2A, which would have came out in 2020, probably 2021, considering what happened in 2020. Anyway, Green Lantern comes to a post Dark Side Earth. We open by introducing Green Lantern to the Justice League film universe. He's inside his ship, crashing to Earth, desperately trying to make contact with somebody, anyone, but there's no response, only static. The ship crashes hard. Disoriented, Lantern hears someone outside. Opening the door, a silhouette figure peers in. It's Batman. Opening on the 5 years later Earth scene at the end of Justice League 2, Parademon conveyors onto the ship. Batman defending Lantern. Then an unexpected ally assists Batman. Deadshot, firing at the Parademon. In the post-Dark Side world, Deadshot is teamed up with the Dark Knight. They are joined by the Flash. Batman barks at Flash to stay out of the fight. Barry's too important to the mission to risk getting hurt. Flash saves Batman, cocky, but is soon overwhelmed by parademons. Flash is almost killed, but Lantern saves him. The iconic friendship between the two begin. So I really like that little moment right there. But
Yeah.
looks across the earth, analyzing it with his ring. He explains to them who he is and who the Green Lantern Corps is or was, how he came here looking for his partner from Earth, who's missing and presumed dead, like most of the Lanterns. So probably John Stewart. Oh, we
Oh,
know.
hope not.
Dude's dead.
Kyle
Darkseid's
Rayner.
army. Yeah. Oh my god. Darkseid's army is paving their way across the universe. In the sky, the Big Dipper constellation is missing two stars. Batman says that all the stars will go out because of what's happening on Earth. The sun is setting. Batman says they need to move. The Justice League regroup. Batman, Deadshot, Flash, and Lantern return to the League's hidden base camp under Wayne Manor. Mara joins them, walking to the camp across the desert with Arthur's trident slung across her shoulders, carrying 2 buckets of water. Mara remarks she's had to venture further outside the camp to locate drinkable water. We actually kind of see that in the nightmare sequence too. She's holding canisters of water.
Hmm.
Cool. Bruce explains his operation to Lantern. They're planning on a move that will end Darkseid's reign on Earth. Lantern doesn't think they have a shot. He wants to repair his ship and try to find any surviving members of the Corps. Lantern wonders what this Justice League could do to stop Darkseid. The Last Supper of the Justice League. Damn, I didn't even know that.
That's
Reveal
crazy.
post Darkseid cyborg, now half a man, able to plug into machinery, hanging into the Batcave, working on massive technology. And guess what it is? A cosmic treadmill
Ooh.
that will help the Flash jump back in time to end what? Lantern asks. Cyborg tells Lantern the specifics of how time travel works is very uncontrollable, and if they can get Flash to travel back, they can do it. They can only try it once a year, so that the Earth will be in the very same spot, and that Flash doesn't jump into solid
Oh,
bedrock,
that's true.
bugs, or space. This is the concept I was talking about. How it actually kind of involves space this time. It's like it needs to be in
Hmm.
the same, which I was like, that's
I
genius,
mean,
right there. I
technically,
actually,
that's still wrong though, because
I know, but
the solar system, not the universe, is traveling extremely fast through the whole universe. But whatever.
I still thought I was like that's I like this concept.
Hmm. Hmm.
In order order to operate, they need to steal a mother box from Darkseid's army, and they know where one is. Once they power the machine, they'll get his attention. Lantern asks who. Mara answers, a Darkseid-controlled Superman. Even Lantern has heard of the Kryptonian, worried that he's under the control of Darkseid. He heard his spirit was unbreakable. Deadshot goes on, across the world, beyond parademons, nearly the entire population has fallen to the anti-life equation, their minds being completely controlled by Darkseid. Deadshot says he remembers when his daughter was taken. It haunts him worse than death. That's how it ties into Suicide Squad, I guess. They need to move on. They need to move soon. Sorry. The planet alignment is tomorrow night, where Earth will be in the same place where it was when Bruce saw Flash in the Batcave. So that's how that ties in right there.
Mm.
If they don't jump, they won't have another opportunity for an entire year. The plan is that Barry will warn Batman so they can be prepared, but the Flash will only have 10 to 5 seconds before he's taken apart. So what can he say in that amount of time to Bruce? They all agree it's simple. You have to stop Lex. If Lex is stopped, Darkseid will never come here and Lex will never slaughter the Justice League. Afterwards, Bruce pulls Barry inside. Bruce tells him that it won't work. He's trying to stop Lex already. Flash has something to say. Bruce says that it's his fault. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Bruce admits, she was Superman's world. I believe I broke that connection. Bruce whispers in Barry's ear, and the Flash eyes go wide. Bruce can't help but say, no way. Bruce responds, tell me that. It will change everything. And you'll find out what it is. I was like, oh my gosh, so cool. Um, kind of, I guess. The mission starts at dawn in a Fury Road inspired Batmobile. Awesome. The Justice League, Batman, Green Lantern, Deadshot, and Mara bring into a stronghold, a cathedral swarming with anti-life controlled people, Darkseid soldiers, human priests kneel at the mother box. Batman says as soon as they get the mother box, Superman will be aware of them. Back at the Batcave, Cyborg and Flash are preparing for Flash's jump. Cyborg makes it clear that Flash won't have much time. He needs to deliver the message before he crumbles into nothingness. But if Barry succeeds, it won't matter. None of this will have ever happened. Batman and the others steal the mother box and make a dead run back to the cave as the Flash and Cyborg prepare for Barry's jump. Superman is in pursuit. Superman arrives and faces off against the Justice League. From a tower, Deadshot fires a kryptonite bullet at Superman's back, but Superman dodges it. Batman asks Deadshot over his comm what happened. Deadshot tells Batman, "This better work. This better save my daughter." Superman flies to the tower, killing Darkseid. Mara tries to remove the water from Superman. He crushes her. Green Lantern fires his ring at Superman. Oh, he fires his ring at Superman, but he sends his corrupted heat vision into the ring until the ring explodes, taking Lantern's arm with it. Cyborg does what he can against Superman as Flash prepares to jump. Just after Cyborg activates the machine, Superman tosses him to the parademons. They tear him apart. Then finally, it's Batman facing off against Superman. The Flash runs hard on the machine, seconds away from the jump. Batman is armed with the Kryptonite spear. Guessing the same one from BVS, I
Yeah.
assume. But Superman impales Batman with it. Um,
Sorry, that sounds funny.
oh my gosh. These two heroes struggle.
No,
The
I just,
Flash.
I just, I just imagine him like like holding up a spear normally, and he just like flicks it from the bottom, so it just flips over and hits his head. Okay.
Man, my voice is getting a little dry from this.
Yeah.
And my water's kinda empty. Anyways, yeah, he impales as these two heroes struggle. The Flash races as fast as he can, exploding through time just before Superman reaches him. The Flash races back in time. The Flash is pulled through time. Then we're with Bruce and Lois when they first argued in Justice League 2. You're not the father, Lois storms out of the Batcave when the Flash arrives, landing in Justice League 2 moment. He tells Bruce what we didn't hear before, where Bruce whispered in Flash's ear, Lois lied to you. You're the father. After delivering his message, the Flash vanishes from existence. Jeez, my voice is getting dry. Lois comes down trying to reconnect with Bruce, who is still reeling from the information. Again, Lois is insisting he listens to her. This time, he does. She tells him Lex has a plan to take out the Justice League. Working together, they discover his attack plans against the League. Suddenly, Darkseid boom tube opens, water pouring into the cave again. Darkseid looks at Lois. Bruce looking down from was it? Bruce looking down from above behind the glass again. But this time, Bruce goes into action, smashing through the glass, throwing himself in front of Darkseid's Omega beams as he moves Lois out the way. He's struck by them, crying out, but he survives.
Oh,
I was like, what? He's not dead? But no. Superman arrives in time to see the person made a typo. They put Atman. Batman injured. He flies into rage, but instead of being broken, he's empowered, angry. Superman puts Darkseid on his heels, and Darkseid is forced to retreat. Lois tells Superman he has to warn the others. Lex has a plan. With information from Lois on Lex in Justice League, Superman saves the League, stopping Morrow from releasing the gas on Themyscira, Orm and Black Manta from killing Aquaman, and Leonard from taking out Cyborg. Meanwhile, Bruce reveals to Lois that although he's alive, he was hit. There's a darkness growing across his body. He's in pain, but they need to keep fighting. He tells Lois he has a he as he boards the bat plane. I could have had a life outside the cave with you. Bruce leaves as Bruce leaves as across the world, Earth unites against Darkseid. Darkseid's full-scale invasion begins, and it's too much for the Justice League to handle on their own, but they won't have to. Led and inspired by Superman, the countries of the world come together: armies, air forces, navies. Wonder Woman and her mother lead the Amazons off Themyscira to join the war. In the oceans, Aquaman pleads the Seven Kingdoms, declaring there is an eighth kingdom, the surface world, and they must be allies, not enemies. The Seventh Kingdom rises to join the Amazons and the surface. The entire world becomes a Justice League. In a Lord of the Rings like finale, the history of the three armies, the first battle, Darkseid echoes itself today. The world of man, the Amazons, and the Atlanteans. As the battle continues, Green Lanterns join the fight with alien Green Lantern Corps. It's the entire DC universe together for the very first time on a scale unlike any that's ever been seen, battling to save the world together. During the battle, Hippolyta dies, saving her daughter, proud of what she's done. The Flash is able to move so quickly, he masters his power, existing in two places at once. Unstoppable, he takes out an entire army himself. Cyborg is able to overpower the mother boxes, taking control of them, triggering a chain reaction to destroying them, weakening Darkseid. Obviously, these are very vague details. Could be a
yeah,
lot of cool stuff happening in between. It's ultimately a dying Batman who sacrifices himself to save the League and the world, destroying Darkseid.
about
In
time.
the Batman becomes the queen of the Amazons, leading them to rejoin the outside world and restore and inspire peace. With the Amazons at her side, Diana negotiates peace between countries of the world, unlike anything in history. Arthur is recognized by the kingdoms as a true king that has helped unite the world. Skepticism over his human heritage is not only gone, but replaced with admiration. Cyborg evolves, becoming a god of the digital age, able to transform himself to look human again. There we go.
Whoa.
Lois mourns Bruce's death. Superman looks closer, realizing that Lois is carrying Bruce's child. Lois admits it, but he already knows. Maybe he always did, he says. He saw what he needed to be, but he doesn't shy away. Instead, he embraces Lois and her unborn child. He has a reason to be Clark again. 20 years later. 20 years later, after a memorial commemoration for Batman's sacrifice, Commissioner Barbara Gordon asked Lois, "What are you going to tell him?" Referring to Lois telling Lois' son about the truth about his father. For the first time in decades, crime is returning to Gotham, and it needs the Batman again. Various Justice League
Oh
members
my
like the
god.
Martian Manhunter present. Yep, I think you see where this is going.
Yeah.
Lois takes her son to the Batcave and reveals the truth that his father is slain by Batman in
It's
Gotham.
like, okay, you're the son of Batman. You know what to do. Just like unleashes him into the cave. Oh
And
god.
it says, "Gotham rising from the shadows and out into the moonlight, we meet the all new Batman." The end.
That
That
last
took
part sounds a little bit loose, Looney Tunesy, but really, like, he's like, okay, you're Batman. Go do what you gotta do. Like, like imagine being told you're the son of Batman
you
in
have no.
the same day that you have to be Batman. How old? Wait, how old is this kid then?
All we know is that it's 20. He'd be 20 then.
Oh, he's okay. Okay, that's better. Damn, he better have good genes. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, Lois ain't bad herself, but
yeah, yeah. Wow, what a
so
script.
that was his giant
You
Justice
just
League.
you just added 39 more minutes to the podcast. Good job. Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, what did you think?
Damn, dude. I don't know. I felt like I just read a whole DC Rebirth. Wow. I'm speechless, obviously. It's great, man. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah, I mean, I always knew, like,
I
damn, what
didn't
did I
I
always
didn't
know?
I didn't think that he thought this far through and this deep. I did not know he went that far. I
Yeah,
thought I
I
thought
mean,
directors usually go two movies deep and they're like, okay, now what?
nah, Zach, he planned this for pretty much after Man of Steel.
Jesus
Which, of
Christ.
course, the critical reception of BVS changed the how Justice League 1 went, which then, of course, changed how 2 and 3 would have went. Because
Hmm.
Zach did confirm that if they were to continue, the whole Lois and Bruce thing was scrapped. I mean, that was scrapped early on in the making of Justice League 1, so or Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we do know that, Lois's child is actually Clark's
Yeah.
now, so that was a big change right there,
I
in
mean
which I'm
I couldn't see Ben Affleck and the character who plays Lois. I don't know.
Amy Adams.
Yeah, I just not looks. I mean the personalities that they have
Yeah, I
in the movies.
wasn't
It
I
doesn't seem like a chip. Maybe if
yeah,
Lois
I mean
was a little bit sassier and a little bit more. I mean she's pretty badass, but
mhm.
I don't know. Not Ben Affleck level. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but, that was, like, the only thing I wasn't, like, the biggest fan of, like, this Bruce and Lois romance. I mean, they probably could've worked it out well for all we know. I mean, because these are just the vague details right here. It's just like, this happens, this happens, this happens, then this happens, and then this happens, you know?
Yeah.
But I would've I would've loved to have seen this. Imagine we could have seen this stuff already. We could have
That
seen this
would
right
have
now.
been crazy.
That wow. And just that's just insane.
Yeah.
And the storyboards too that accompany it are just like, wow, Jim Lee is a freaking god. Like there's this shot, it's the final battle, and you see the Green Lantern Corps are like flying right over the city, and Kilowog's like in the main shot, and like you also in the foreground you see like the freaking like the Navy ships too. You see the city kind of and like the parademons and somebody that they look like Blue Beetle almost, but I don't know.
Mhm.
It could also be Cyborg. Um, but yeah, they're at the final battle too, and here, like when I was first reading this, I was like, seeing how like disconnected the other movies were from this, or like
Yeah.
they never like they weren't like, oh, this one leads into this one, this one. This still would have been a perfect place for like, oh, Shazam could have just showed up, just have the random heroes from like each of the other movies, even if they weren't like necessarily deeply integrated into all this stuff, they could have been at the final battle either way.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to be like, oh yeah, they're gonna join the league at this point and then they're
I
gonna
mean,
die, but then
Endgame did that, you know. Like
yeah.
Ant-Man wasn't super into the plot, but it was nice to have him there. Yeah.
hmm Like, they don't even have to be important to the plot, they can just be there for the hell of it being a final battle. I mean, the world becomes a Justice League, which I love that idea because it was all about unity, even from this movie that we saw, like,
Hmm.
last week, unity right there coming together, which I was just like, "Wow," I love that theme was always still consistent all the way through his big original plan, but I think if this came out right here, man, like, it it would've been crazy as hell, for
Sounds
sure.
like it, man. That's awesome.
Like, I think I've told you, I think, like, it would've probably been, like, that maybe that final act, depending on if they wanted to integrate, like, the other DC movies, like, just into the final battle. I think it would've been, like, Endgame level, in my opinion. I don't know if they would've had a portal scene, but,
Right.
you have Superman firing people, so, I mean, I guess that's close enough.
Hmm. It's crazy.
And then yeah, so
The
that's
amount of times I've said that's crazy on this podcast. That's crazy.
this
uh,
right here was freaking crazy.
yeah. You man, I can't. So wait. So this was all on a wall, or like where did you?
This is, you should just go to the place and you'll see it, but it's on, like, these it's whiteboards is what they're on.
Okay. Wow. How many whiteboards?
I wanna say it's 12. Or
Yeah.
technically 6 because they're double-sided.
Okay. So, damn.
Yeah, so you should check it out there, take some photos, of course, or not of the storyboards, or else you'll probably get kicked out, but yeah, I would've killed to see this.
Mm-hmm.
still because I think with how long and big it is, like how like it's like a giant epic, it would have worked so well as a comic book, like a
Oh
comic
yeah,
run.
that would have
It
been.
was
I mean,
it's perfect for that.
they can still do it. I wouldn't mind. I don't care
Yeah,
what
I
if
would.
I know what happens, dude. I want to see it.
Yes, man.
I'd
It's
frame it.
just
If it was good enough, I'd frame it.
yeah. To think, man, if things had just gone differently back then, bro.
Yeah. Well,
I would have felt
we're at 1 hour and 45 minutes. I think
sad.
if you're still watching and hearing us, congratulations.
Yes, clap it up, clap
Yeah,
it up, clap.
good job to you. Uh, we will. I am planning, and I promise. I'm making a promise right now. We'll have a whole new setup. Everything's gonna look. We might even have a camera for like
Oh
the
shoot.
dice rolling. But this summer, or maybe near the end of the maybe what time? Late May, we will start doing D&Ds, and they're gonna be great. We've been training for a while, and we've been learning how to adjust to how we do it. And this time we're having it in person for the first time because we've been doing it online. And while online's fun, it's kind of hard to connect with each other due to the really role play aspect of D&D, which is probably the most important aspect. But we're gonna have everything. I promise you, we're gonna have a new drawing. It's gonna be really cool, and you want us to be here for that, even though there's probably no one watching at this point. That's okay. They're gonna be cool and it's
But
probably shorter.
if you manage to watch all the way through, dang, I don't know.
Dang.
Out to us or something. We'll give
Hey.
you a high five, or
Okay. You can
as proof as
type. Look.
proof that
Look.
you watched this.
Yeah. Type in the
As
comments. What should they type in the comments?
uh super cuck,
No.
because that's what's gonna be super cuck.
Type
Uh,
nerdgasm. Nerdgasm.
nerdgasm. Perfect,
There you
perfect.
go. You type that, and we will contact you personally. We will reward you. We'll give you a cookie.
Yes.
I'll buy you a cookie and drive and send it to you. But yes. Anyways, thanks for joining us today. Uh, stay safe. Do all the things that are happening. Good in the world. Be good people. Be good people.
Yeah.
We need good people
Please,
right now in the world.
please.
And peace out. Bye.
Bye.